Yo, what's up guys? Osco Dan here and welcome back to How to Build the Classic Physique. We're coming to an end of the series. We got maybe one video left, maybe one or two videos left. And we're on part 9 right now, how to build classic calves. We're going to go over some quick anatomy like we always do, some models to look at, and some exercises to really focus on to give you those classic calves. I'm also going to give you some tips on how to grow your calves and where I got these tips from, or my references and shit like that. Alright, so let us get started. All right, some quick anatomy of the calves. Number one, we have the gastrocnemius. That is the biggest part of the calf. Honestly, that's what you really want to focus on is the gastrocnemius. That's what really gives it that size and mass look. The soleus is the smaller part of the calf. It's on the side. It gives you that square look. And then you also have the Achilles tendon. All right, so honestly, the part of the calf you really want to focus on is the gastrocnemius because that will give you the thickness and the mass, and that's actually what's going to make your calves look big. That's exactly why Reg recommends a lot of standing calf raises. That's why I do standing calf raises all the time. That's why my calves have grown so much, because I literally only do standing calf raises. Like for the past year, I've been doing standing calf raises 3 times a week with 6 sets of 20 reps for about pretty much a year, the whole entire year. And my calves have grown tremendously. You see my thumbnail on Instagram, you see my post on my thumbnail on YouTube, and you see my post on Instagram. My calves looking pretty big. And some I've seen, so I have some videos on Instagram too that show my calf progress. I used to have really small calves, and taking that advice from Reg Park, Sergio Olivia's son, I forgot what his name is, and who else? Vince Gironda. That Vince said that 20 reps is the type of rep range you want to focus on when you're doing calves. And Sergio Olivia's son said, "Hey, if you're lagging on your calves, here's what you should do. Do 6 sets of 20 reps standing calf raises and do 6 sets of 20 reps seated calf raises." And I tried that for a little bit. It worked pretty good. And then let's see, who's the other source I got that from? Reg Park recommends standing calf raises 3 times a week to grow your calves, and that he got pretty big calves like that, and that's how I got pretty big calves. So yeah, those are some quick tips right there to help you build your calves. 20 reps is pretty good, but if you're more of an advanced guy, you can do 20 or 30 reps. Tom Platz, he's always a big fan of the high reps for legs and shit like that. All right, so let's go over some models to look at. All right, so the best calves I have ever seen in bodybuilding would be Steve Reeves, because he had that diamond shape to his calves. He's the only one that I've seen during that time that had the diamond shape with the calves, very fully developed. It was said he said that he was a paper boy. I think he took up a paper boy job for the summer to pay out to get some money or something like that, to buy like some barbells or some shit like that. And he would bike. I think he would bike and mainly start using his calves to bike. Either that, or I think I heard him. He would walk backwards or something like that. Some shit like that. But yeah, Steve Reeves really had that diamond shaped calf. John, I don't know if you say it's a John Grimac, but his calves are pretty good, but they didn't have the diamond shape like Steve Reeves did. And the other best calves I've ever seen is Crick Dickerson. That guy has some amazing calves. I mean, just look at it. Those are some pretty crazy looking calves. There's a routine that he did. I think he created. It was you do 15 reps of standing calf raises, then you drop down to 8 reps, and then you shake off each leg for 6 seconds, and you go back and do 8 reps again, and then you shake off your leg, and then you go again for 8 reps, and then you shake off your legs, and then you stretch your calves with the calf machine 1 leg at a time, and then after that you come off the calf machine, and your calves should be pumped. They should be like super shocked. You gotta be massaging them, and that's literally just 1 set right there. That's what sometimes I use to shock my calves. So that's another tip on how to grow your calves. A good shock routine that Chris Dickerson invented himself. It was actually that Chris Dickerson said that I think it was him, that he only, or was it the Vince that said that? Vince said that one of the bodybuilders would only do the negative part of the calf raises, and boom, their calves grew like crazy. So that just tells you how much the negative part of the calf raise is so important. Cool. Now those are some good models to look at. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger had pretty good calves. But I'd say Chris Dickerson and Chris Dickerson and Steve Reeves had some pretty good calves. Arnold did have good calves though. Mike Benster had kind of a weird tennis ball looking calf. Um, that's all I can really think of right now, honestly. All right, so let's go over some exercises to work on to give you those classic looking calves. All right, so Sergio Olivia's son gave me the tip to if your calves are lagging, focus on the standing calf raise and the seated calf raise. This is literally all you need for your calves. Calf raise will work the gastrocnemius, the big part of the calf. This will actually give you that mass in the calves, excuse me. And the seated calf raise to give you that long calf look that kind of reaches down to the ankle, gives you that square look. Yeah, so those are the only two exercises you need to do, and do 5 sets, at least 5 sets. If you have your calves are small, or 6 sets, and of 20 reps, of course. Vince said that he experimented for like maybe it was a year or two, or a couple of months to see what exercises for calves work the best. Or actually, he experimented with reps, and he experimented with 10 to 15 reps, and he experimented from 30 reps to maybe like I don't know 50 reps, something like that. And he found out that 20 reps is the best. Arnold recommends that you do 10 sets of 10, and or 10 to 12, 10 to 15 reps, but I found that from the sources I've looked at, that 20 reps is always really good for calves, and that's what Tom Platz also says for your legs. If you want to grow your legs, you have to do high reps. Tom Platz was a big fan of high reps, 50 rep squats. This guy would squat for like 10 minutes straight. All right, so one of Steve Reeves' favorite exercises for his calves was, and this is I think this is labeled in Vince's one of Vince's courses, that he calls it the Steve Reeves press, and it's basically like the doing calf raises on the leg press. So yeah, I think it's called the toe press or the Steve Reeves toes press or something like that. But that was apparently one of Steve Reeves' favorite because I don't know why, but it's like honestly, I think what that exercise does is that it gives you the diamond shape because it kind of works like the peak of the calves to give you that kind of like diamond shape look. I think maybe that kind of could be a reason why Steve Reeves has such good calves. I've seen Steve Reeves do some standing calf raises. I've never seen him do seated calf raises though. No, actually, you know what? I have actually, yeah. But yeah, that was Stevie's favorite exercise. And then Chris Dickerson really was a big fan of focusing on the negative when it came to doing the calf raises. I'm pretty sure it was him that said that he would do the negative and his calves grew like crazy. Another thing you might have noticed is that a lot of bodybuilders back then they did standing calf raises with their shoes off. I mean, you take a look. I think I saw Frank Zane, Steve Reeves, Reg Park, Vince Gironda. Let's see who else. I think I've seen Arnold. I've seen Arnold do without his shoes on. I mean, there's a reason why because like the thing is that when you do it with the shoe on, you kind of block the contraction of your calves with your foot because you're supposed to be pushing with the two top toes of I'm sorry, two toes of your foot to get that good contraction. That's why they did it with their shoes off. And all right, so here's my blueprint if you're trying to build classic calves. Number one, you need to have a good calf foundation. You need to have some serious mass in those calves before you can start shaping them. If I were to recommend a calf routine, it'd be like this. Now, this is about a year's worth of calf routines. This is what I need you to do. You have to do standing calf raises and make sure you build some really good mass in your calves. Your calves have to be big and thick. And after that, once they're big and thick, then you can start adding some seated calf raises in there to build that soleus, give you that square, long look in your calves. And once you build a good enough foundation with that, because those are the only two exercises that are the basic exercises to build that really good foundation. Those are the only exercises that what was it? Reg Park, Steve Reeves recommended, and Vince recommended. And then once you have that, then you can start shaping your calves and start doing the toe press and the Steve Reeves press and the hack squat, standing calf raise to really give your calves a different shape and size. Because if you look at every single golden era bodybuilder, they had huge calves. I'm talking about Steve Reeves, Reg Park, Frank Zane, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mike Menster, Chris Dickerson. You see every single golden era bodybuilder start off with the basic exercises like the bench press, the standing calf raise, and the really basic shit like the bent over row, pull-ups and shit like that. And if you just jump into like doing all these crazy like other exercises and like just to shape your muscles, you're not gonna have that muscle, that density that they had at the beginning or that they had in their physiques because a lot of them back then were powerlifters like Franco Colombo. I mean, he competed in powerlifting. I think he strained the shoulder muscle. I forgot what kind of muscle it was in a refrigerator carrying contest. And then Arnold, He powerlifted back then, and then because if you wanted to become like a Mr. Universe or like a or whatever, win a championship title, you had to weightlift. You had to perform a feat of strength. It was like required. Now you don't require any of that shit. But that's how they got their dense looking physiques, and that's what a lot of people tend to forget, that you need that muscle density. You need to have that foundation before yeah, you need to have that foundation first before, excuse me, before you can really start shaping any size and muscle. So I'm saying, don't just start jumping to any like random calf exercise like the leg press or the hack squat. Just stick to the standing calf raises until you have a really good foundation with that, and then add some seated calf raises, add a little more shape, and then add a little more shape later on when you can start doing the Reeves toe press and stuff like that. That's what's gonna give you those really classic looking calves. You need to have that density, that thickness, that muscle in the calf before you can start shaping it. Now, if you really want to start looking classic, you have to have a good pair of calves. Like, you could have a wonderful upper body, like big lats, nice broad shoulders, a square chest, but if you don't have big calves, it kind of just ruins the whole look. Like, it's like, oh, you look classic from the top, but then you see the bottom, you're like, ah, oh, damn, those little calves. That's why it's important to have huge calves. Like look at any golden era bodybuilder. Frank Zane, I mean Arnold, they all had massive calves. It's a requirement. You need to have big calves to be classic. There is no going around it. So yeah, that is what kind of separates the bodybuilding and the classic physique from the actual classic physique, like the big calves. That is the biggest difference. Alright, so I literally given you all the information I could on calf raises, some old school stuff like Steve Reeves' favorite calf raise exercise was the Reeves toe press, which is basically like a leg press, calf raise, and then Chris Dickerson's favorite was most likely the shock routine that I provided earlier. It was you do 15 reps and then 8 reps and 8 reps, and then you stretch your calves and then you shake them off. Your calves are pumped as fuck. So yeah, calves are very important when it comes to classic physique. Don't forget that ever. All right, so yeah, let's talk about next video. Next video is probably gonna be the last. I think. I don't think I have any more on how to build a classic physique. I've literally given you all the whole outline, the blueprint on how to do it. I've given you tips. I've given you tricks, history, anatomy, and stuff like that. Stuff you won't ever forget. And next video is probably gonna be on abs and the waist, how to get a small waist, and how to get classic abs, because I'm gonna bring up some pretty controversial stuff on exercises that people might disagree with, and people might agree with, and I might open up some new epiphanies or realizations in your mind about some of my new ideas that I bring from Mr. Honor, because he was a very controversial guy. A lot of guys did not like his methods. Joe Weider, I don't think he was a big fan of Joe Weider, because Joe Weider stole a lot of his shit and said that it was his. Everybody stole Vince's shit because this guy was he wasn't recognized a lot just because he wasn't popular. He didn't like to follow all the popular shit. He was very against the grain, and everybody just steals his shit. Like, if you guys ever heard of German volume training, he invented that. If you've ever seen German volume training and it says 10 by 10, 8 by 8, he invented that. Or if you ever heard of the steak and eggs diet, about how you can eat bacon, or the keto diet, he invented that. So yeah, this guy's a pretty controversial guy, against the grain, a very revolutionary guy, and someone I'm probably gonna make a video on. But yeah, back to the thing. We're going to make a video on classic waist, how to get classic abs, and shit like that. Alright, so yeah. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Share this video with anybody who wants to have a classic physique. Thanks for watching. This is Old School Dan checking out. Peace.